Today we're speaking to someone that's got a meal prep business, £25,000 a month. I think this is a very difficult business to make money from. You've got to do such huge revenue and your customers are actually not that sticky. They only hang around for 3 or 4 months. But we've got some ideas on how I would grow this business, how JB would grow this business. So strap yourselves in and let's have a watch. Hello campers, welcome back to Business Broadcast. Today we are speaking to Connor Hillman, but hello to you, JB.
Hello to you, JS.
It's Fit Fruity, Tutti Fruity then.
Tutti Fruity, fitty.
Fitfoodtasty.co.uk, that's who we're talking to today. Tell us about the business, JB.
He has been going for 3 to 9 years. He is doing an estimated monthly revenue, like you said, of 25,000 smackaroonies every single month. He's got 5 team members. His biggest challenge is finding new customers, particularly paid ads. We seem to have very little or no ROI, which was what we mentioned in the pre-chat chat. That is a difficult thing. Second biggest challenge, we have a big boom in January and February, and then March we can be much lower in numbers. I think so. I think he applied about 3 or 4 months ago, so he applied in March. So it sounds like it's quite seasonal-ish. Third biggest challenge, getting our second unit in the kitchen. I've tried to secure one before and the landlord refused us because the company has a bad credit rating, but it has 0 debt except from the director's loan from me, and I even agreed to give a very large deposit. So that slowed down our growth. So what should we do about that? Where does he want to be in 1 year's time? We always ask that.
Just in case we skirt over that in the podcast, the reason he's probably got a bad credit rating is
because he's got no debt.
Well, no, because he probably hasn't registered any profits. Right. So on a business, if you're making £200,000 worth of profit a year, that will start improving your credit rating. If you've never made a profit, that's going to make landlords nervous.
Gotcha. He told me in the pre-chat chat he's doing about 50 grand in terms of like net profit.
And if he's paying corporation tax and registering that, the compound of after 2 or 3, 4 years, that will start improving that.
Gotcha.
But they might say, it's not even the credit rating, I say, can we see your accounts? And he looks at the accounts and I'm a commercial landlord and I'm going to give you the keys to my big warehouse.
Yeah.
You're only making 50,000 and then you come in, JB Audio's making $1 million net profit.
Hello. Slipped in there, didn't I?
They're going to go with that.
Yeah.
Because what happens is for landlords, the better the covenant of the tenant, the better the value of the investment from a bank's point of view that you can borrow against.
Okay.
So let me give you an example here. If you lease some space to Apple to put in a shop for £50,000 a year, James Sinclair comes in and offers £70,000 a year, the landlord might go with Apple because of a stronger covenant, even though I'm offering more rent, because they can lend and they can borrow against the Apple covenant against buying other properties. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. What is the covenant?
The covenant means the strength of a company. So you've got a personal credit score. Well, a business has a covenant, which could be how much cash they've got in the bank, how many years they've been trading, their number of employees, have they got property they own, have they got a strong balance sheet,
so
all of those.
You're quite a big commercial landlord. Do you look at that for every unit, or have you got someone in your team who looks at that for every unit?
Certainly, if we was giving someone a long lease, we would certainly see who they are. But we've given people chances if they've bothered to say, look, I'm really strong, I'll make sure I survive and I'm going to put a lot of effort into this. If I saw that emotional intent, I might bend the rules.
Okay. What rule would you be bending?
Well, I would say, okay, you can have the lease. Rather than giving it to, someone with a stronger.
Okay. So with like a commercial lease agreement, if someone defaults, let's say, for example, you picked someone in, their covenant looks all right, but for whatever reason they can't trade anymore, is it easy to get people out of a commercial tenancy agreement?
Well, if they stop paying and they go bust. Yeah, that's
can you do it like straight away?
Yeah, much easier than
like residential.
Yeah, much. I mean, that is one of the big pros of commercial property. But look, getting tenants with good covenants are really important to landlords because it makes their borrowing cheaper. They can, it increases the value of their asset, their funding.
So you could go to the bank and say, hey, I've got this new industrial site and I want to extend it, because you've got one, haven't you? You want to extend it, I've got the planning, I need some money to build out another 20. And at the moment, half of the site is taken by Google. Like they would look at that and go, cool,
They'd
that's
love
great.
that. Yeah.
Right, okay.
You can actually borrow against the strength of your tenant's covenant.
Right, okay.
And that's why you might see warehouses empty for so long, and you think, why are the landlords doing this? Because they're actually holding out for a stronger tenant with a better covenant.
Because they know that they could then lend against that strength of that covenant.
You see a warehouse, it's been empty for 12 months, like one of these big distributions.
Yeah.
My God, that must be costing a fortune. But they would rather wait 18 months to get Amazon in there, which would have a really strong covenant. I mean, that is a challenge. That is a challenge that lots of SMEs face, by the way.
So you've almost got to sell yourself. So again, as a commercial landlord, he's
doing the right things, like offering a bigger deposit, a personal guarantee, another company guaranteeing it, a bank guarantee, because sometimes banks will give guarantees to landlords as well. I've used, when I first started out, Lloyd's gave me a bank guarantee that I had to give to Legal and General to allow me to lease my first space.
Oh, okay. And vice versa, have you got any of your tenants who you demand a bank?
Yeah, on bigger units, I would. I mean, I've got lots of little units,
right?
But on my stuff that was 18, 20,000 square foot, and I do own some of those big warehouses that I am the tenant of. But if I was selling those
as a space
and getting other tenants in, renting those and getting other tenants in, who they are becomes very, very important to landlords.
So even if you've already got the lending on it, so let's say, for example, it's you buy a bunch of warehouses on a sort of a site value. Is it as important then because you've already got the lending on it, or are you trying to
Well, no, it's because it's for future. So if you want the value of your estate to go up, the better your tenants, the better the valuation for the future. If you want to sell it, and you want to sell it to a pension fund, your industrial estate, and you can say, look, these are all my tenants.
Yeah.
They're really good covenants. They've all paid deposits. They've been in business a long time. That's going to be very attractive for you as the seller and very attractive for the buyer.
So if you were going to sell, say, commercial space to like a pension fund, do they look at the lease, the length of the lease and the strength of the leases? That will determine the multiple.
The length of the lease and the quality of the tenant's covenant.
And that will dictate the price that they're willing to pay.
Yeah, and like I say, I know lots of people that would, take a lower rent from a stronger covenant. In fact, if you're a really good business and you've got a really good balance sheet, you've always been profitable, you've got cash in the bank, that will put you in a much better negotiation power to lower your rents or get long rent-free periods. There's the other thing as well. Commercial landlords would much rather give people a long rent-free period than reduce the rent. Because if they reduce the rent, that makes the value of the lease go down. So they'd much rather say, well, look, I'm not going to reduce the rent, but I'll give you an extra 3 months rent-free.
Okay. So so in that instance there, so that's a good way of, like say, rather than dropping it down like £1,000 a month on the rent, you would say, right, I'll give you 3 months for free. But if you were coming to sell, are they looking at the overall value of that contract, or are they just looking at the monthly recurring?
So say you take a 20-year commercial lease and you give 2 years rent-free, and you'll then go, all right, we won't do it any lower, but we'll give you 2 years and 3 months rent-free, for example, or a year and 3 months rent-free. That's all gone in the past, isn't it? And then for the next 18 years, you've got to pay rent.
Gotcha.
So the buyer is buying 18 years worth of guaranteed income. What makes the income guaranteed was the strength of the covenant and how good the business that's the tenant is.
And is the free rent period, that comes at the beginning part of the tenancy
Absolutely,
agreement?
Yeah.
So like a bank, for example, like if you are in sort of payment mode and you've got 18 years on that contract, they know they're getting guaranteed money for 18 years. There you go. There's a commercial. If you've enjoyed this commercial property deep dive, just type the word commercial on YouTube or give us a thumbs up. I like that. No, it's good because, again, so you play the game at a level that a lot of people aren't yet, and I think it's good for you to have a dumb mate who can drag out the basic knowledge out of you.
There we go.
Enter dumb mate.
So what's his challenges?
So he's got these. Well, he's got three. We mentioned paid ads being the predominant one. Then the sort of feast and famine. Excuse the pun there. Food pod.
I think it's seasonal, isn't it? Because everyone wants to get fit January, February, March.
Yes. He probably has a little bit of a spike come 6-pack holiday season. Because I think also that the market that he's going after is those who train and look after
So
them.
you on meal prep at the moment because it's obviously 6-pack season for you.
Yeah, standard.
Absolutely,
Standard.
baby.
I've just missed 6-pack season just by a couple of months again this year. Never mind. But yeah,
But on this third biggest challenge, I mention it on this property thing. This is where my pet project is. Local authorities should be playing a part here.
Yes,
because they sit on bundles of cash and loads of useless property that they shouldn't own. For example, I own the Rossi ice cream parlour. It's a in the act lease, which means it always can renew. I would offer them £1 million to buy that property, and they get 45 grand a year rent from me. They should take my £1 million and invest in warehouses and units like this to drive a new business in the country.
Yeah, definitely.
So that people like Connor can get hold of this stuff. And some councils do it, but I see that government should be filling the gap here. Because even if Connor goes bust, people wanting small commercial space up to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 square foot.
It's not going away, is it?
Not going away. Highly desirable.
No.
And I know because I own a lot of it and rent it out. And as soon as someone goes, bosh, someone wants to go in. So
you can't get enough of it to fulfill demand, can you?
Yeah, it's highly desirable. And if you drive around these great British Isles, you will see big landlords or big commercial developers building big distribution sites for Amazon, but you will very, very rarely see small units being built because it doesn't make sense. If you bought the land, and this is for those of you that want to play Carol Vorderman at home.
Here we go.
If you bought the land and you built a building and say that cost you £200 a square foot, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get...
I was about to say, see how far down the line he can go.
This is the problem. This is what unless the landlords have got the space, know they're holding all the cards. So it's £200 and we want to build a 3,500 square foot building. It's going to cost us 700 grand to buy the land and build the building.
Yeah.
And probably only get 35 grand a year rent for it if they're lucky. £10 a square foot. Maybe you get £12 a square, but you're not getting a big return. So they're looking at that going, well, I don't want to do that. But if you build a 300,000 square foot distribution centre, you start getting economies of scale in your build cost, and you probably could build that. I'm just guessing here for, £130 because it's costing you 39 million to build that, and you're going to get much higher rent, much more guaranteed income. And it's expensive to build small stuff.
What about if you built... Have you looked at sort of like building something big and then breaking it into individual?
Yeah, I've done that. But I mean, again, private landlords, you need institutional investors to do it. And I don't think they do it. So I think the government should pick up the slack. And if the government doesn't, we'll never have any new small businesses. We'll never have the next JCB, Dyson or Cadbury's.
Yeah.
Government need to play the role here because it doesn't make financial sense for institutional investors to do it.
Because you are a commercial landlord with an entrepreneur's head on your shoulders, have you got a layer of protection between you and the person who's like, I've got this idea, I can do it, I'm driven, I'm young, I'm hungry?
Well, I think you know the answer. So I don't deal with our tenants anymore. Tracy, my PA, does it.
And does she approve or disapprove?
Yeah, she decides. I mean, she asks me, but she does a better job than me because...
Better gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Because you're a big old softie, ain't ya?
If I see someone having a go, I will bend some rules. If they're nice people, that is.
That's why you need great people around you to protect you from yourself.
In
1 year, by the way, so we didn't get to the point of where he wants to be in a year. So in a year, we always ask this of our guests, where do you want to be in 1 year? Double the revenue and profits of where we are now. Second premises with a bigger and better kitchen and office. What does the business look like when it's finished? He just left that blank. He just decided he wasn't going to tell us. He's left us the ultimate cliffhanger.
I love what he's saying next.
Do you make the profit you want to? If so, what is it? Not even close. We're on track for 50 to 60 net profit this year. I'd like to get over $1 million net profit. Yeah, he's talking your language, isn't he? Day to day, what does he do with his time in the business? I work on the marketing, overseeing everything. I'm not trapped running day-to-day operations. It all works very smoothly. To be honest, I spend very little time on it and now want to spend more time getting the business to the next level. So this was interesting. In the pre-chat chat, I was talking to Connor and he has done very well out of some investments that he's got. So therefore he has not had to, he could get out of the day job.
What sort of investments?
Crypto.
Has he done well out?
He's a crypto bro.
I know someone, I'm just talking about this.
Go on.
They invested in some form of cryptocurrency through an EIS scheme. Do you know what EIS is?
Yeah.
So you put money in and then you get half of it back off your tax return.
Yeah.
So you put 50 grand in, he got 25 grand back off of his tax bill. Done that 3 years ago and it's turned into 1.5 million and you pay no tax on the gains because it's through an EIS scheme. That's how it works. It made serious money.
Does that change your opinion on crypto?
No, because I don't understand it enough. So, and I think purposely I haven't, I mean, Chuds was doing it a bit and he taught me a bit about it and I just
Oh, is it a crypto dabbler? You're a crypto dabbler, Chuds? Okay.
But I just, you can only get your 10,000 hours of practice in a certain amount of stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
And I like long-term gain stuff like this crypto thing. Like at the moment, it's a new thing, isn't it? You know, and a lot of people have had their fingers burnt from it as well. Let's be absolutely clear about this. More people have lost than made. I think that would be fair to say now.
Well, that's the popular consensus, I would say. Yeah.
And I just, buy a little warehouse.
Buy a little warehouse.
Watch it
buy a little
go.
ice cream factory.
Yeah. I don't want the anxiety of looking in the app and oh, it's gone down, it's gone up. I'm an entrepreneur, mate. I'm not a dabbler. I don't get excited about it, so that's why I've never done it.
Ah, very interesting. Okay.
If I got excited about it, I've never done stocks and shares either. I've never I'd love to put £1,000 into Google and see what it could turn into. But I know that works for a lot of people. It's just
when you get to the next stage of business, when if you have a windfall, if you have your, what do you call it, a liquidity day?
A wealth day, liquidity day.
That's
what banks call it that.
Okay.
They call it liquidity days.
If and when that comes around, let's positively affirm it to the universe. When that comes around, do you think you'll do a little bit of Warren Buffett, a little bit of Charlie Munger, a little bit of buying stocks and shares?
Maybe, a little bit just to try and learn about it. But
really? So you wouldn't put any...
Now, what I'd much rather do is invest in entrepreneurs and companies and set up a private equity firm. That's really where I think that I would like to do that.
Nothing like hands-free sort of interests you? I know like the commercial and the residential property is hands-free-ish, but it's not really, is it? But that sort of
commercial property and business, that's me.
Index funds or anything like that? It's stuff that just tracks the market and is not like you individual stock picking.
I don't think they can beat me. I think I put £1 million to work or I put $1 million into an index fund. I think I'll beat it every day.
James Sinclair versus the index fund.
That's my opinion.
Chuds, that is the next big YouTube
However,
video.
JB, I think I need to caveat. I think I have a skill set that's different to most. And so if I was a head teacher or a teacher or a solicitor and I won £1 million or I came into £1 million,
you would give it to someone else to look after.
I think that index fund, a very safe,
long-term bond or something like that.
Yeah, I think that is very smart things to do.
Yeah.
But if you're an entrepreneur and you've got entrepreneurial DNA and traits, then I don't think they can beat you.
You are your own economy. It's a wise man.
Absolutely. So, we've covered everything
I think we covered it all off, and then he's got some questions that he'd like to ask you.
Well, I think it's time then for our new game here on the podcast.
Oh my God, we've gone so long into this. I thought we were going to swerve this one, but we're still doing it, are we?
Oh, yeah.
Fact, what do we even call it?
Well, I think there's a knock at the door, isn't there?
Yeah, we do the knock at the door every time. Oh, here it is.
Who's that?
Interesting quote or fact. Interesting quote or fact. Interesting quote or fact. It's time for the interesting quote or fact of the week.
There we go. Right. So, interesting quote or fact of the week. Are you doing quote or fact this week?
Oh, I am doing facts.
Okay.
I've got fact.
Yeah. What's your fact?
Would you like to go first for your quote? Have you got a quote?
Well,
you got a Jim Rohn book next to you, so you've got an abundance of them. You could just.
I love this, guys. I'd done a video on my main channel a few weeks ago, maybe months ago.
Favorite books
about the 8 best business books.
It was good. That I liked it.
Yeah, and we put a Jim Rohn in there. He was the last one.
I think you're going to slide one of your own ones in there.
I wouldn't do that. A lot of people say that.
Here, get customers. Very good.
So my interesting fact of the week is, interesting quote of the week is, compassion opens closed doors.
What?
Compassion opens closed doors.
Okay, explain that to me.
Well,
why do you like that quote?
If you fall out with someone, and I think if you're in entrepreneurship and business and you get to a certain level of success,
Yeah.
I think bridges will be burnt, but the person that moves first can repair those bridges and get over them and rebuild them, and that's a much better way to live your life. Now, my experience of highly effective people, amazing entrepreneurs and business owners, are very good at recovery when they fall out with people. Now, I think now of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, I think it was quite fiercely known that they were fierce rivals and fallen out. When Steve came back to Apple, he just picked up the phone to Bill and said, I need you. I need you to come back. And towards the latter years of their life, they'd done interviews together. And you could tell there was some friendship. And then there's another thing that made me think about this.
He went to see him on his deathbed as well, didn't he? I think Gates went to see him in the last week before he passed away. I'm pretty sure he got a phone call and he's like, I would like to come see you.
Yeah, and there's that. And so Steve reached out to Bill and they, a lot of people were like, why are we doing this? Because that's what small-minded people think. They think, why is Steve becoming friends with Bill Gates? Why is he bringing him into the Apple fold? But actually that really worked out for Apple because Bill put in a load of money, Steve sorted it out, and I think we all know what happened to Apple. But I was thinking about this other thing. When politicians leave office, they can tend to become really good friends. And there's two things that I noticed recently. William Hague, who used to be the leader of the Conservative Party, wrote an article in one of the newspapers about AI, and Tony Blair reached out to him. Now, they were rivals. And now they're very good friends, and they're working together on this. I mean, you've got Labour and the Conservatives.
Oh, really?
They're working together. And I watched an interview of them talking about the importance of AI and why Britain should be doing the right stuff. But that compassion has opened doors to great friendship, and good stuff is happening. And I saw Theresa May made her last speech as MP in the House of Commons, and Ian Blackford, who is the head of the SNP in the Houses of Parliament, fierce rivals. I mean, completely different ends of politics. He went up and gave her a hug in the Houses of Commons.
Oh, really?
And all they did was slag each other off for years, fighting each other. And I saw that and I thought, that? Why can't we be more like that? So, yeah.
I like it. You don't fall out with people, do you?
I've fallen out with people over the years, but I very, very quickly try and repair it. Maybe we've had a disagreement on something. I think that's really important. And I noticed that with highly effective entrepreneurs. And people say I forgive too easily, but I think it's a better way to be.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that was my quote of the week.
It was.
And I promise you, if you go and research highly effective entrepreneurs, they've been done over by someone and then they end up, just come on, we're in a competition here, it wasn't actually being nice. Yeah.
Do you know, you're actually my reference point, because I've got some bad debt from a former client, and I'm absolutely gunning for blood. And every time I get in a little micro rage about it, I'm like, what would James Sinclair do? He would just go, no, don't matter.
Don't be bitter, be better, which is...
Come on, guys. I mean, if you're not applauding at him, you're missing a trick. Don't be bitter, be better. That's Jerome, isn't it? Again.
No, I've always said that.
Jerome, please.
I don't know where I've got that from. I've just always said that. Don't be bitter, be better. Because
that might be you. That could be that's your one quote I've ever heard come out of your mouth that's actually yours.
Oh, shut up! I've got loads of good things. Don't innovate or evaporate. That's a James Sinclair.
It's not as good as
E
that
plus
one,
M equals S.
Oh yeah, I know, but tosh. That's not as good as that one, is it?
No, but don't be bitter, be better is a good way to live your life, and the ability to be able to build bridges makes you highly effective.
Yeah, no, fair point.
So that was my quote. What's you got a fact?
I got a fact. I got a fact of the week, right? So here's our fact of the week. By the way, let us know in the comments if you love fact of the week. Quote or fact, whatever this bit is called. Do let us know, please. Contrary to popular belief, business founders, what the perception is that they're all busy go-getting 20-somethings. The Enterprise Nation found recently that Small Business Barometer, the average age... In fact, you've looked at it now, so you can't say. I'll ask Charles. What do you reckon the average age of a UK business founder is? Average age. 34 is a good answer. It's incorrect. The average age of a UK business founder was 46. I found that really, really interesting. 46. And 35% of businesses are started and run by people over the age of 50. Now, we had someone on a previous episode of the podcast who was 57 and getting into entrepreneurship for the first time. She was very fearful of it. It's like, well, actually, 35% of people who are starting businesses fall into age demographic. Now, when I looked at some other facts, because I know we love this section, guys. Give us a thumbs up again in the comments if you love this section as well. And I thought, oh, isn't that interesting? I wonder what some other like key sort of age-based moments are. The average age of a man getting married is now 39 years old.
I was 38.
Were you? Okay.
Last year.
So the 39... Did you get married last... Was it only last year? Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Been together 3 decades, huh?
Yeah.
Met at 11 years old.
Did you were like childhood sweethearts, weren't you?
No, she thought I was gay at school.
Did she?
She always tells people that as well. I always go, I thought you was a munter.
Great comeback. But what I thought was really interesting about this, so the average age of a male is 39, the average age of a female is 37. But that has increased from 27 and 24 respectively. So that's gone up 13 years since 1972. Now, this goes back to one of the things that you always talk about looking at what the age demographic is going to be and the, what do you call them, the woofdies becoming the most sort of powerful people with finance in the country. What a massive difference within 3 or 4 decades.
Well, the woofdies, which is well off over 50s, they've always been the most powerful in terms of forever. Yes. But they never lived long enough.
No.
The difference is, I mean, they've
not been the majority of the population up until now.
Yeah, so the thing that we've been saying recently on the pod and on my main channel and at seminars, and I'm trying to hammer it home to entrepreneurs. I was actually out with someone last night that I'd done a consultancy session with over dinner. Yeah, more 65-year-olds graded last year than 20-year-olds for the first time ever. And if you're not thinking about that in your business, you're stupid. You're stupid. More 65-year-olds created this year than 20-year-olds for the first time ever last year. And it will be the same this year. And what I said to this person, they said, oh, I've got this business idea. I need to put £1.5 million into it. What do you think? And I said, it's okay. It's okay. I don't think you'll lose money. But he was in a leisure sector that was really for 4 to 11-year-olds. And I said, really, you want to be thinking about whole of market. You know, I look at my Rossi ice cream parlour or Roller City or this hotel, where you've got businesses where there's a bigger demographic, a bigger whole of market, then you can make a lot more money and you have a much bigger chance of success. Similarly to our guest today, this is, you know, when you look at HelloFresh and Gusto, they're a meal prep business that you're finishing off effectively, aren't they?
Yes.
But they have got a much broader market.
Yeah.
He's got a niche market. And I know we also say riches in niches. So like, it's like we're contradicting our own advice here.
Yeah.
But this here is, you got to find people that got a lot of money, because this is people paying up in advance of their food. They're organised. So you're finding people with money that are organised, that care about health and well-being, that have got to be around to collect the food. It's difficult.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just quickly, because that's a beautiful segue to our guest, but I'm going to ruin that segue because you brought up something interesting. So now that you've come to the realisation of the whole of market, so you've bought the hotel recently, the roller skating rink was recent, Rossi ice cream was recent, but obviously your background is kids related stuff.
Well, yeah, so I look at Marsh Farm, right? I look at Marsh Farm, which is one of my visitor attractions. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds want to go there. 9 and 10, 11-year-olds don't want to go there. So I look at...
But then 20 to 35, 40-year-olds do want to go there.
No, they don't.
They're not.
Oh, do you want to go to a fun park with your wife just for a day?
I'll go with the kids.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but I mean that's families with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds.
Oh, okay.
But not families with a 15-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Right, okay.
So the analogy I gave to him is, I said, you want to build a business like it's the beach. Get down on a sunny day to the beach and just sit and have a look around on the beach. This is what I told him last night. I said, and you'll see Marjorie, who's 70 over there. You will see a 3-year-old and you'll see a couple on a date multiplied over. You'll see 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. You'll see whole of market all swarming to the beach. And that's what look at this hotel. We have people here on tourism. We have people meeting family, people going to work, salesmen, traveling salesmen, blah, 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 whole of market. And when you've got a big enough audience, so yes, you want a hungry audience, but a big enough population of people that want to give you money, you're protected. And if it niche, unless you're making a lot of money from that riches in niches, that's different. That's very different.
So has that changed how you now look at business opportunities?
Oh, absolutely.
So you look at, so if someone comes to you with like a kid's soft play centre now, you're like, no, thank you.
So when I think about, I want to give the riches in niches example. Say I've created a product for dentists, and dentists will pay £1 million for that product. That's okay, because there's a big enough pie for you to do that riches in niches. So consultancy with me, it costs you $2-3 grand to have an hour with me. I don't do it very often, but my audience, if I wanted to do that, I can massively scale that up. Yeah, I don't want to do it, and so I'm just I feel like we need to. Like Harley Davidson would be a good example again. It's a niche, isn't it? So only a certain amount of people want that particular bike, and they charge a big premium for it. Yeah. But there's a big enough
hungry audience for it anyway. Okay, well, we've discussed a load of stuff for half an hour before. I guess we've been lovingly waiting in the wings. Should we actually get him on?
He's probably grown his business.
He probably but turnover's gone up no end. Thanks, fellas. Let's get him on the show.
Hey gang, we're going back to the pod in just a moment, but I wanted to tell you about Entrepreneurs University. This is a platform that I've created for entrepreneurs and business owners that are serious about growth. There's 100 video lessons from me on everything in business, raising finance, buying companies, property investment, and everything in between. Attached to each video is a downloadable PDF that goes into more detail about what we've learned in the video. It goes one step further than that, because I've also put stuff that you won't get anywhere else onto Entrepreneurs University. The lessons go into way more detail, but not just that. You're going to get my business plans, my spreadsheets, and all the files that I use to drive the KPIs in my business. Just think about how powerful that could be for your business. And here's the good news. You can try Entrepreneurs University for free. 14-day free trial. After that, it will cost you just $49.99 a month. That's less than a pair of Nikes to grow the profitability in your business. There's a link in the video description, and I cannot wait to see you in Entrepreneurs University.
Connor, welcome to the podcast. How are you, sir?
Hello, James and JB. I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Well, you're welcome. Sorry for leaving you sat there for half an hour listening to our...
That's right. It was an interesting conversation. I learned a bit already about that conversation you had about the commercial property and that.
Yeah. It's probably not that they're trying to be awkward. It's just the way the industry works.
Just going to have to be patient, pay back my director's loan, and pay some corporation tax, isn't it?
See, that's the thing. It's not so much the director's loan. It would be it's if you're profitable and you're showing profits. If you've got good, strong accounts, the director's loan thing is not the bit that would bother me as a landlord. I'd be saying, right, I don't care if you got that's you taking money out of your business. I'm not so bothered about that. And I know you're going to have to put it back in, or you're going to pay that interest on the but all of that. What I'm concerned about as a landlord is if you're making good money repeated for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that it's predictable. So that's that point. I think, Connor, let's just work through your challenge. Your biggest challenge is finding new customers, particularly paid ads, as we seem to get very little to no return on investment.
Yeah.
Now, I've spoken to lots of people that spend money on Google ads and Facebook ads where there's lifetime value nor a big enough volume in the sale. So, for example, if you're selling hot tubs at 5-10 grand a go and you spend £200 to get a lead, there's enough meat on the bone for Google to make some money, for you to make some money, and everyone's happy. So your average order value is what, roughly?
About £80 would be the average.
And how often do people order from you, and how long do they stick around?
Every week. And so working on averages is I'd say it's about 3 to 4 months, but we do have some people that's been with us for years. There's had it pretty much every week. Sometimes they'll have a couple months off, but they come back. But I'd say 3 or 4 months would be like the average. We've been around 3 years.
So I think you need to not look at the unicorns and look at the raw. So the average is 3 months. So each customer's worth £960. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably about right.
The lower end and 1,280 quid at the top end, isn't it?
Yeah.
So average at 1,000-ish quid, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Which goes back to your point there. If you're trying to compete on pay-per-click ads at 100 quid a lead, it's pricey, isn't it?
What if someone stops ordering from you? What's your process?
So if someone stops ordering, I suppose we have our MailChimp set up, so we send emails on there. That would go to them. But
you send text messages.
I suppose we don't have a direct. Yeah. If maybe, like, obviously a lot of the customers, the ones that I know that we've had for a while, we would sort of message them. But yeah, a lot of these random customers that just come for a bit and disappear, we haven't really done anything in particular to get them back, I suppose.
Well, obviously, I think as you're saying this, you probably feel like you need to do something about that. I mean, the biggest thing is the phone call here.
Sounds obvious as I'm saying it.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. But the biggest thing is the phone call. You've got to pick up the phone to these people and just say, "Oh, I've noticed you stopped ordering from us. Everything okay?" And then get some feedback. And whatever that feedback is, by the point of you having that conversation, will be the first seed in their brain of considering coming back to you. And you will learn loads about your business.
To be fair, I have actually sat down and done that, not for a long time, but yeah. When
you would have done it in the beginning.
Worth it. Like we got, more enthusiastic. But we got a couple orders and
can I just stop you there?
Some feedback.
Just stop. Yeah. I want you to really, because when you listen back to this, Connor. So you used to do something that you knew that really worked, but because the business has got bigger and more cash flows coming in, you stopped doing it. That is every entrepreneur and business owner, like leaflets. I think leaflets are still one of the best things, cheapest thing to do to get customers, or picking up the phone or knocking on doors. I used to always ask on this podcast, how did you get your first customer? And they would tell me this really cool way of getting the first customer. When did you last do that? I don't do that anymore. I just rely on Facebook ads because I've become lazy. And I just want you to, when you listen back to this, why did you stop calling your customers? And calling customers, asking them to reorder
already.
Asking even your existing customers, I noticed you haven't placed an order this week. Would you like to place an order? Like, that is not annoying people. They're already customers of yours. And that could be really good for retention. And then also saying, we've got a special offer on drinks. Would you like to add these drinks on as well? And do some free stuff every now and then. Because free is better than discounting. So look, you've left us. Look, come back to us.
I'll pick up the phone tomorrow and go right through it.
Are you the person to be doing this, or should you just, because you'll get busy and you'll disappear and you won't carry on, should you be employing someone on telesales full time? The answer is yes, I absolutely should be, James, because that will massively grow my business and retain some of my customers.
So I've thought about this sort of thing before, but say full time. It's quite hard to fill a week for very long, just calling people for meal prep. You know what I mean?
No, because I think how many customers are falling off each week? And how many?
So I guess we've got about 70 customers, like, each week on average. But what do you mean by falling off? Like, just not ordering anymore at all?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, like a handful, like literally like 5. Like, most people do return, and it's not necessarily every week, but like most customers.
But most people are staying 3 or 4 months, yeah. So that drop off, you need to make sure that you're getting in touch with them before they drop off.
Yeah.
So only 70 customers are driving your 25,000 revenue, yeah.
Obviously, that's a bit of off the top of my head. I mean, I could check the exact number now.
About 80 quid, you're right. It's 78 people. It's 78 people, if according to the maths.
Yeah. That's just off the top of my head, but yeah, that sounds about right. Obviously, so that's people, but we do have some gyms and a couple cafes and stuff that sell our meals as well. So we obviously get like a couple grand a month off that or something. No, more than that, like a few grand.
Do you know what your gross profit is?
Yeah, not off the top of my head, but it's in my my accounts thing. You say gross profit, because this is a food business, would you include the chef wages in that?
Yeah,
in the cost of goods.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that absolutely. Labour has got to be in there. So your gross profit will be labour and your ingredients, but then you would leave off electric and rent to come off of your gross profit to give you a net profit. And I would even...
Yeah, I know the net is 50 for this year. I haven't got the gross in my head.
But see, the thing is, I think in a food prep business, gross profit is your life. You need to know your GPs on every meal. Now, I've got a spreadsheet in my Entrepreneurs University. If you reach out to me, or you can log into Entrepreneurs University for free, and you can grab my spreadsheet for working out the menus and gross profit. It's what I use in all my businesses. You must do that. And you need to make it cultural in your business. You've got to live by gross profit here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's paramount. I mean, I think this is a very tough business. I've just got to be honest with you, Connor. And you need such a volume to make decent money.
Yeah, it is definitely tough, but I can already see that it is very popular once you get up into the bigger numbers. Because like how we are now, we can easily double, maybe triple what we're doing without much more extra spend, if you know what I mean. Just ingredients and a bit more time, but we're able. It's not much harder to do, say, 800 meals than it is 400.
I mean, the thing is, if I had someone that was a telesalesperson doing all these calls, and then I would, in their spare time, get them to call all the PTs in the country and say, look, you're doing one, like my PT, if he said to me, you need to do this, which he does actually all the time, but he actually set it up for me, that'd be it. It'd be done, because I'm seeing him 4 times a week, 1-to-1. And
you could do your nutritional plan, couldn't you? Pick your meals,
And I think it's really important that you find those people, because they will have time poor, wealthy people. And a PT, like my PT, has probably got 20 1-to-1 clients that he's working with, but I would say it's between 5 and 20. And what is there's going to be 3,000 plus PTs in the country at least. And you need to get someone on the phone and say, look, we will give you an affiliate for everything you recommend. We'll even send you some free meals, and every time we sign up a client, you'll get a percentage of that back.
So what would you do, like post a job advert on Indeed for a telesalesperson or like a salesperson?
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be loads of people that are used to hammering the phones. That's a good network marketing. They're an advisor. They like, they're confident, and they love the product you're dealing with. They're out there, mate.
Yeah, I'll give that a go.
But if they, so like, I want you to call 50 PTs a day, and just say to them, look, I want to send you a free meal. I would love you to try it. If you've got any clients, send it to them, and we'll set them all up. What's their goals and aims, and then if you've got this network marketing of all these PTs that are giving you warm, qualified leads, they're good.
Yeah.
Just have a look at that.
Yeah, we have worked with a couple of PTs before, and they have done a good job getting people in.
See, this is what I mean. This is the stuff
that
annoys me, Connor. So it works. Go and do it more. Come on, sunshine. You're brilliant.
If you look at the affiliate thing as well, if you said you're going to give 10%, which by the time you've got rid of all of your Google costs and stuff, you probably could afford to do. Let's say, like Gabs, for example, don't forget he's got boot camps, so he's actually seeing 100, 200 people a week. But even if he could sell it just to the one-to-one clients, he's making £7 a client, 20 clients, 140 quid a week over the year. That ends up being £606. Which if he's charging 50 quid an hour,
more
that
interesting
saves
than
him.
just doing paid ads as well.
Yeah, and then you can also get that user generated content, which would be amazing. It could be one of your partners. And for the PTs, if he's doing 50 quid an hour sort of sessions, then he can reduce he buys back 12 hours of his time by doing an affiliate deal.
The thing is as well, I mean, everyone wants the easy road, don't they? They want to do Facebook ads and Google ads and pay all that money to them. And yeah, we're the same. We do it all, but the old school stuff, like,
Do you think I should be doing that at the moment, at the stage we're at?
I think you should be doing
Like
both.
Google ads, Facebook
Yeah, I think you
ads.
should be doing both. But you can't just rely on Google and Facebook, which everyone does, to be the engine that drives cash flow into a business.
Another little question I had on that is, as you know, it's seasonal-ish, so it blows up in January and February, and then you have a bit of a downtrend till the middle of summer, and then it picks up again. So on that real busy period, should I be spending a lot more on the marketing and that, because that's when people are searching for it?
I think you work out what your return on investment is, and you just put as much as you can into it. If the numbers stack up and it works out on a return on investment calculator, you keep going.
But it leads into further conversations about, because you mentioned about MailChimp, and straight away I shuddered, a cold shudder. There's nothing wrong with MailChimp as a basic email database, but actually in terms of like a business building CRM system, it's not that. So for example, have you got, like Jimbo mentioned, if people are dropping off, how many touch points have you got with the clients? How many times do you reach out to them? If they haven't submitted their order by a certain time, do you send them a reminder email to, hey, don't forget you've got to, till 12 o'clock tonight till we, automatically send out what you've got. Then
So we do a little bit of that. We obviously don't need enough. We don't do it enough. We need to do more. What was the alternative to MailChimp? Because you said it made you shudder. What should I use?
There's tons. There's absolutely tons, but you need
anything top of mind.
You need a CRM system, and I bet there is probably like a meal prep CRM. I bet there's one that exists out there. There's a great platform called Go High Level. Loads of people are using that at the moment, and there's lots of white label. The great thing about Go High Level is you can actually build on top of it. So the development and the heavy lifting's been done, but you can make bespoke versions of it. I bet you there's a meal prep CRM system out there that will help you convert clients, retain them for longer, set up your emails and your text messages. It will do the delivery text message. It will just professionalize everything that you're doing. I think, you guys are doing good, I think, with some tweaks, and probably with a bit more of your focus and enthusiasm and renewed sort of engagement with the company. You could easily do all this sort of stuff, mate, easily. But yeah, I would look at a meal prep CRM system. And I bet one exists.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say as well,
Go High Level after this.
At least you're sending emails, because anyone that's listening to this, I was listening to some statistics the other day. 67% of businesses don't even send an email to their customer.
Yeah,
they don't send emails.
No, I can imagine that.
And then what percentage sends them a text message to remind them to come back to do business with them? And most businesses are absolutely horrific at follow up and are just not doing it enough.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on using like SMS marketing? Like
I love text messages.
So
right. It's so cheap. You can send a text message 3p, 4p, and if you're getting £80 orders, I mean, I do it for Marsh Farm. We send out 30,000 texts to people that bought from us before. Do you want to come to our next event? It really, really works. They get 80% open rates, much better open rates than emails.
Yeah.
Domino's Pizza.
I've manually sent some texts before, but I've never
manually,
used
it's even better.
Like software that just...
right. If you've only got 70 customers, manually bloody send them if that's what you have to do. I mean, some is better than none. I mean, JB, you should be using something better than MailChimp, but at least you're doing MailChimp.
Yeah.
At least you've manually sent the text messages. And when you sent them manual text messages, did you get good results?
I haven't done it for a long time. I think I got some results. I got something, yeah. So I'll literally do that after this call. I'll just start texting people.
Yeah, if you send out 70 texts and you get at least some orders, That's a really good return.
Well, see, when I said 70, that's like 70 customers buying this week. Obviously, we got like 700 overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But picking up the phone, I still think
that.
hardly anyone's doing that now. Everyone wants to do the digital.
And you could do a consultative sale there, which would be really nice. Like get them on the call. If you wherever you get the lead from, you get a salesperson on the phone and say, what is it? What goals have you got? The sort of thing that a PT would do, and give them a real basic meal plan. Oh, based on what you're telling me, what are you weighing in at the moment? What is your goals? Oh, shredding down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you probably need to reduce your carbs a little bit, without going into like working out and measuring your macros. But broadly speaking, you need this, that, and the other. The best meals that we've got in this week's specials are blah, blah, blah. Can I interest in you in sending you a sample pack? That's a real nice consultative sale.
Where should we be getting these leads for the salesperson?
Well, that is going to have to be like Google, Meta, potentially. There's probably there'll be mailing list companies that will have
connecting with the PTs,
gyms, independent gyms.
What lots of entrepreneurs and business owners, anyone listening, like think about what a business owner would have had to have done in the 80s and 90s and the 60s and the 70s.
That's such good advice, that.
What would they have had to have done before the internet? Like they would have had to pick up the phone and build real connections. And the opportunity today is no one can be bothered to do that. That was the only way back then. So if anyone's bothering to do that stuff, the returns are outstanding.
I'm going to get on it.
He's going to get on it. He's going to get on it. I reckon leaflets in independent gyms, because I see you've got some like gym partners that are listed on your site. So I think that's a really good place to start, because they've got high footfall of traffic, and they'll most likely, again, you can have an affiliate deal with them. If somebody scans a QR code, again, if you use the right CRM system, you could make a QR code per location. And if somebody scanned the QR code in that location, then that affiliate deal would get registered to them automatically. Stuff like that for gyms, they would absolutely love it. And then do you know what the other thing that I'd be doing potentially, because you are sort of like into your training, it looks like everyone who works for you sort of into your training, I'll be doing like like member meetups, and do a CrossFit session or do a training session and get loads of user generated content, not just of the food but actually of community and building. There's a great PT who I launched his podcast actually called Kirk Miller. He's like a men's health fitness model, ripped to bits, but he's amazing at building community, and he does it very well. He does a meetup every quarter, once in Dubai, once in London, once in America, and he gets so much content from that I think that probably fills the rest of his program. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a good idea. What was his name?
Kirk Miller.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, he does the community building thing very well.
One thing someone was saying to me, he was saying you should figure out what else you can sell to your customers. Do you have any thoughts on that?
What do you reckon, Jimbo?
Like what does he mean?
I guess he means like, because we've already got all these customers that are good customers that come back all the time. They trust us because we're making their food. And he said, like, what else can you sell to them? Because you already know that they will buy off you. But I was like, well, supplements, we don't want to do none of that. So is there any opportunity for extra revenue there at all?
I think I think I would follow one course until successful with try and get this going, and then it's difficult.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
you said to me in the pre-chat chat that you've not been like mega engaged in the business for a while because you haven't had to be. I think you'll be amazed at what happens when you start rolling out your sleeves and put your energy and enthusiasm back into this company. I think, vicariously, if you just driving it forwards a bit more and being more proactive, you could probably double what you're doing already. And then, like Jimbo said, focus on this thing rather than, because what people do is when you get to challenging times, it's often easier to go, I'll do something else.
Yeah,
I'll start a new vertical,
Yeah.
or I'll integrate something else, and you can justify it in your head. You go, well, we've already got that marketplace and blah blah blah, but you haven't got the back end right, you haven't got the follow up right, you haven't got the sales process right. So don't.
And
move
then
on
before
to,
you know it, you've just got the new problems in the new thing.
yeah, exactly.
And I agree with, I mean, anyone that looks at me, I mean, I've got multiple revenue streams and vertical integration all over the place. If it's easy and it is an absolute no-brainer, then yes. But you don't know what that is, and I haven't got an idea for you. If you said, I've got this idea to sell this, maybe that's a different conversation, but I don't think we've got that right now.
No.
Let's do some questions, I think, JB, yeah?
Yes. What questions have you got, Connor? Because I know you'd have submitted a few.
You may have none, which is fine.
No, you submitted one. There was just one. And obviously,
Yes, to be fair, I've asked a few questions. I don't think I really have any more. Well, you've answered quite a bit.
the only one you had submitted when you applied to be on the show, which I appreciate might be a little while ago now, was what do you think of the meal prep industry and its potential over the next 5 to 10 years?
I've got here, how do I get a body like James Sinclair?
Have you got? Did you see Connor at the beginning? I don't think he's worried about getting your body. He looks like he could bicep curl your head.
Look, I think
The food looks great, by the way, and the branding's not bad either. I think
people always buy food. I think there is a market for this. It is, I do think it is a business for most people that will just make wages, and there will be a few that break through and make a lot of money. I think a lot of people think they will say this is a HelloFresh and a Gusto business. It's not. They are a broad market. They market to families, to old people, to time, and they're incredible value for money. It's not that, and that's actually you making it yourself, isn't it? This is not. Who is the market leader for meal prep? Is there someone?
One that seems to stand out a lot lately is Simmer. Have you heard of them?
No. There is one other.
Exactly.
There is one.
So really, there's not a clear top winner at the moment.
There's one thing.
Also, the last couple of years, I've seen quite a few of them go out of business.
Yeah, because it's bloody tough, and there's not enough. There's not enough cash in it, and there's not enough gross profit. I mean, I think you'll be scared when you see your gross profits. I think you'll be like, "Oh, damn."
Yeah, I suppose I've just focused on the net profit, really.
Yeah,
I totally get your point, but yeah.
Well, I mean, the net profit's obviously important. I mean, net profit's yours,
but
as you grow this, you must make sure you concentrate on gross profit, because more people will be buying stuff, and they need to understand that every meal has to be prepped to at least a 60%, 70%, 80% GP, whatever you want it to be. So it's really important that you focus on that. Now, there is one other thing that I would consider doing. And I nearly bought a business like this about 3 years ago. Do you know, if you go around industrial estates, they have one of these vans that go around that have sandwiches in. Have you ever seen them in industrial estates, like the sandwich man? We have one come to the ice cream factory and the industrial estates that some of our sites operate out of. They play their little tune and everyone goes out and buys a roll.
Yeah, like an ice cream truck kind of vibe.
Yeah, have you not seen them? They open up the side and they've got sandwiches in there, cans of drinks and cakes.
I've not seen them live doing it, no.
Oh, it's a massive thing.
Right. I've heard of it. I've just never seen
every industrial estate in the country has it. So I nearly bought one that had 10 of these sandwich vans all going around Essex. And each van does, I think, about 130 grand a year, and you've got a driver and they go and it's all prepped up. And I do think there is an opportunity where someone like you could go to an industrial estate with all those prepped up meals and people would buy them. And what I would do is probably buy an existing sandwich round company and put all your meal prep stuff in there. Because I think that, I mean, I took my car into Range Rover, and the person at Range Rover and all the people came out of Range Rover that worked in the mechanic shop and bought all their sandwiches and lunch for the day. She'd done 100 quid and then she's off to the next one.
Yeah.
And off to the next one. And I wonder where people are thinking more and more about what they're eating, that if someone could do that as a meal prep business, that would be very smart. Because it's not
to big office buildings as well.
All of that. Yeah, all of that. Do you know that they're like a refrigerated van? You would have seen them. You know,
Yeah, I've seen. There's quite a lot around here. They usually just do like sausage baps and stuff like that. So no one's obviously doing it with meal prep.
But what would be really good about that is you go to, I don't know, a Range Rover garage, they've got 100 staff working there. Yeah, there'd be a lot of people in there.
One too many, isn't it?
That care about the food they're eating. They go, cool, this is really nice. Even if they run at a break even, you might then get meal prep customers off the back of it.
Yeah.
Do you know the other?
It's like you're being paid to market, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's like we put a branded fridge in gyms and let people just buy meals from the gyms.
Yeah,
and they sell a few meals. That's good, but the bigger benefit is obviously just really good marketing and advertising. Just having our branded fridge in the gym, and we've had a lot of meal prep customers that end up ordering every week that first got it from a gym.
Do you know who another market I think is just popped into my head that could be really good is the Airbnb market. So obviously down your way, because we know that you're near Hinkley Point, and obviously I think they've got 5,000 construction workers down there at any given point building out the nuclear power plant. So I wonder if you looked at Airbnb, if you looked at rooms for rent, if you looked at Zoopla and Rightmove, I'll bet you can find loads of these serviced accommodation companies that provide. They're like hotels, but on steroids. So as well as like the room, you actually get like a little kitchenette area. They'll often, like the corporate companies will have like 2 or 3 guys that will stay in like a 2 or 3 bedroom flat at the same time because it's more cost effective. I wonder if you could get into those and let them know that you're, do some sort of a discount or a deal, and they would put their leaflets in there or something like that.
All of that good stuff. That sandwich van thing, I really think.
How much do they go for these? You're looking at them now.
Yeah, you can buy them for like 5-10 grand.
Oh, can you?
They're new. They're like 40 grand.
And is it like window cleaning? Like if someone else has already got the turf, you just got to be willing to turn up and have a right.
Yeah, they're basically an ice cream van.
Yeah,
but for salads, sandwiches, cokes, and it really works. And there's lots of industrial estates. I think
I suppose you just call the businesses and just
no, they don't call the businesses. No, they play.
But you could get them to email the staff or whatever to let them know. You
could do that. Yeah, you could do that. But they usually just stay on the roads on industrial estates, and everyone comes out like an ice cream van. They just play a tune. Everyone knows the tune.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I'll look into it.
Lots of good things. Thanks for being on the show. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Let's do the rating.
Oh, before we do that though, Connor, do you want to punt?
Yeah, of course.
Give it a promo. Where can people go to get this delicious looking? It does look delicious, by the way. Where can they go to get your delights on a weekly basis, delivered fresh to their door?
Our website is fitfoodtasty.co.uk, and we're on Instagram. It's fitfood.tasty.
So Fit Food Tasty. Google that and you can find them across all their socials and their website. Awesome stuff. Thank you for being on the podcast, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
There you go. Connor, all the way from Fit Food Tasty. It looks very nice as well, by the way.
Yeah, nice guy.
Do you know what he had done that our other meal preps that we've spoken to haven't done? There's a subsidy. So he's got steak noodles. Got about £2 extra. He knows it costs more.
Subsidy. Surcharge, I think, is the...
whatever. Same sort of thing,
subsidy.
Isn't it?
Funny.
Steak tax.
Steak tax.
I think of it, steak tax. Right, are you ready to... should we rate him?
Yeah, let's rate him, baby.
It's time now for the 8 Traits to Greats. This is where an award-winning entrepreneur, James Sinclair, who has got vast knowledge across multiple sectors, vertical integration master, and all-round lovely guy, body of an Adonis, gives us his 8 Traits of the Greats. And he rates people on what he thinks.
Well, you do it with me.
Well, yeah. Last time you're like, how you been tomorrow, Mel?
So, starting with the end in mind?
Nope.
No. Passionate about their cause?
Yes, definitely.
Untold amounts of resilience?
Did you see the size of him?
Yeah, I did see him. He was impressive.
Jacked.
I like it. I thought I was looking in the mirror.
Yeah, I could see that you sort of caught your own eye there.
Untold amounts of resilience?
Hard to tell, really, wasn't it?
Hard to tell.
Give him a half. Give him a little half. Come on.
That's what we do now. If we can't tell, we'll just give them half.
Yeah, fine.
That's good. The master relationships with people? Half.
Half, yeah. We don't know.
Commercial awareness? No.
No.
Because he doesn't know his gross profits, does he? Just
no.
Cares about... Look, yes, net profit you want for yourself, but gross profit you want for managing the business. Yeah. They innovate so they don't evaporate. Half.
He was willing to, wasn't he, when we sort of give some ideas to him?
Master marketeer.
I think he's
terrible.
Half.
Stay teachable and curious. Yes. So that's that. 1, 2. It's 4.
4. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
4 out of 8.
Well done. 4 out of 8.
Again, though.
Ain't that great, but ain't bad either.
Again, though, I feel he could be someone.
He
really
is somewhat.
good.
When I chatted to him before you turned up, he was. I think he made a nice chunk of money out of crypto, and kind of just
How much do you think he made?
done a bit of. I reckon he's. I don't know, 6 figures plus, £250,000 something like that. Enough to set up a business and not have to be proactively involved in it for 2 years. Went and done a bit of travelling, had a good life, trained a bit, had a nice lifestyle, and now I think he's like, oh, do you know what? He's probably got a bit bored, I think, and now he's going to.
I've got a little game for viewers to play.
Here we go. Game time.
Do you think if you receive a lot of money very quickly that you don't become very good in business and you need to get rich slowly? Yeah, that's a well-known proverb, philosophy. I can't remember the absolute facts, but I'm sure viewers can help us. I think it's like 80% of lottery winners lose all the money within 10 years, something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
If you know the fact for that, viewers, hit it in the comments. What is the length of time that it takes lottery winners to lose all of their money?
I wonder if that's actually true, if that's like one of those wives' tales, because do you remember that
No,
guy
I think it is very
back when we
true.
were kids? Michael, he was called Michael. He was a fella. He won like 3 or 4 million quid, and he just spent it on like
Yeah, I think it's very true. 'cause
trikes and quad
if you've not
bikes
had
and-
any training of how to manage money, there's a little phrase that was going to be my quote at the beginning.
Save it for the next one, for God's sake. I ain't got time.
Well,
for
because
more
it's
quotes.
so relevant to
Go on
this. You could take all the money from all the rich people in the world, divide it up equally. It wouldn't take long to go back to the original pockets,
That's true.
because it's the training and the philosophies
Yeah.
of understanding how to manage money.
You actually need to learn slowly, don't you? in this
Absolutely,
game?
yeah.
You might want the results quick, but you might not. It goes back to the whole thing of like who you're becoming and stuff.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
talked about it on the podcast. You've actually got to be the person
Absolutely,
who can actually
baby.
handle the results and deserves the successes and can handle the challenges as well.
Yeah.
If you have enjoyed, what was I going to say there? If you have enjoyed this episode of the podcast, please feel free to let us know. Leave a comment on YouTube. Also, if you are in this space, maybe you are someone who trains very hard. Maybe you're shouting at the screen on YouTube, going, "I've got some ideas. I know what you should be doing. You should be doing." Insert thing he should be doing here. Tell us in the comments. We really appreciate it, and let us know what you think of the show on Apple and Spotify as well. You're doing that weird smirky thing.
No, I was just thinking, if anyone knows anyone that could do vocabulary lessons for JB so he can get his words out better, please hit some recommendations in the comments.
And join Jimbo next time, because I'm going to walk off in a huff and he's going to be by himself doing the next episode of this podcast.
Thanks for listening, gang.
Ta-da!
To continued success. Bye. Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business. If you're loving the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking here. And why not give this one a watch? I think you'll like it.